Topics covered range from typical military subjects like chain of command, ethics, and service history, to necessary skills related to Coast Guard operations, like line handling and seamanship. Coast Guard recruits do get plenty of the typical drill instructor treatment during their training.
Get one arm's distance. Keep your hand up and get your one arm's distance.
But eventually, they learn it's all for a reason.
Arms down.
They learn every demand,
Arms up.
every correction, everything the instructors do teaches them to cope with stressful situations and still perform their jobs.
Nice.
They do it for a reason, and they have, compassion for you, and they're very inspiring.
Ryan is speaking from experience. Our conversation with him took place on the day of his graduation.
Juliet Company is the graduating company.
They have to be 100% ready when they leave here, because they're going to be the ones that are on the small boats. They're going to be the ones that are on the cutters out there conducting law enforcement and maritime security.
Most of the young men and women who last to the end of Coast Guard boot camp are changed by the experience. But the ones most surprised by those changes are often the recruits themselves.
It's amazing the amount of people that say, I didn't realize how much I was capable. Because they've never really been stretched, they've never been pushed, they've never been required to expand their capabilities, and that's really what we're trying to do, because once they leave here, guaranteed they'll be expanded and stretched when it really counts.
At the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, many potential cadets' experiences here start before they even decide to apply. They're the ones who come for the week-long Academy Introduction Mission, or AIM program, held each summer.
35 seconds to go. 35 seconds to go.
Through AIM, young men and women get a taste of what life at the Coast Guard Academy is like.
I kind of applied to this one not knowing a lot about it. I was really focused on West Point or Navy, and so I came here and I really like it.
And many AIM students attend similar summer programs at the other service academies as well. Earlier visits to the Naval Academy and West Point were part of Daniel White's evaluation process.
This is a lot more mental toughness that you have to have, because you need to memorize a lot more information. I'm definitely going to try to apply early.
This engineering competition, focused on building and testing water robotics, was one of the 2006 program's main events.
1 minute left. 1 minute to go.
It's in there somewhere, I don't know where.
Interest for many AIM students is often related to the Coast Guard's humanitarian role and how the service's men and women are out saving lives every day.
The Coast Guard, always running, like they're always doing stuff. There's always search and rescues, there's always missions to be done. So it's like their training is their job.
About 45% of those accepted at the Coast Guard Academy each year are students who attended the AIM program. But no matter the amount of previous experience, everyone who's accepted to attend the Coast Guard Academy can expect a thorough orientation in the months leading up to the start of their first classes. The Academy calls it SWAB Summer.
We have to teach them how to march. We have to teach them proper respect. We have to teach them how to wear their uniform, how to salute, all the basics of being a member of the United States military. Then we also have to teach them how to be a part of our Corps of Cadets.
I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourselves. I'm going to give you a chance to show me that maybe you learned from what we just did.
It's a lot tougher than I expected.
You will fix your teamwork issues because you will work with us.
And, like the enlisted recruits we met earlier, many Coast Guard officer candidates say the biggest challenge is
Memorization. There's a lot to learn, and not my strong point, but I'm working hard at it.
Another similarity between Coast Guard boot camp and the Academy is the bonds the young men and women attending form.
You share trials, you go through everything together, you're living in close quarters. You're just around each other all the time, you get to know each other real well.
So what we were doing here was actually subtracting 6 pi.
One other benefit Swab Hutton and his classmates will eventually experience develops over time.
So if the sine of x
is some number, then the sine of x plus 2 pi is that same number.
Well, it's very demanding, but it builds a person. When you graduate, you're very multifaceted, and you are prepared for life.
And much of what these men and women will eventually face will be on the water, often with lives in the balance. Necessarily, the Coast Guard Academy's training reflects the service's unique mission requirements and work environment.
For example, we would be training them to sail, we would be training them to swim, ensure that everybody knows how to swim. That's very important in the Coast Guard. We'd be training them on a bridge of a ship, so that would be the major difference. But the core fundamentals are the same. We're all looking to produce leaders of character.
I've just taken pi away from the argument.
Graduates are awarded a Bachelor of Science and a commission as an ensign. Then, unlike other service academies, graduates of the Coast Guard Academy usually go straight to work, without any stops for additional specialty training.
In general, that is true. We do have a few cadets now who go directly to flight training. However, the vast majority of them will go to a ship, and some of them will go to our operational shore units.
As a member of the class of 2008, Cadet Emily Holt is at the halfway point.
It's been a challenge, but it's also been really interesting. I've had so many opportunities that I know I wouldn't have had otherwise. I've developed some really tight friendships with my classmates, which has been an awesome experience.
The Coast Guard Academy admissions process is like a traditional, highly selective college. Unlike the other service academies, there is no requirement for a congressional nomination for those who apply.
We receive about 1,200 applicants per year. We'll give about 390 appointments or offers of admission, and we'll enroll about 275 cadets each year.
And at the core of every aspect of training at the Coast Guard Academy is the goal of instilling strong leadership skills.
Yeah, hold the leg. Somebody else get the leg.
There we go, Bertram. All right.
Our leaders begin by being followers, and that's what the SWAB Summer Experience is all about. They progress then into more of a mentorship role in their third class or sophomore year. And then really at the start of their second class or junior year, they're in a full-fledged leadership role, either guiding the incoming class or working closely with students who are considering an application of the Coast Guard Academy through our AIM program. By the time they're first class or senior cadets, they're leading the Corps.
Discipline, teamwork, sir! I think you hit it. It's teamwork, it's discipline, it's everything about that.
So it's a terrific development program. Many colleges and universities talk about leadership development now, but we've been doing it for well over 100 years.
Although the Coast Guard is the smallest of the United States 5 military services, it has great responsibilities in our post-9/11 world. It's here at the Coast Guard Academy and at the Enlisted Training Center at Cape May, New Jersey, that Coast Guard men and women are taught the skills they'll need in the future when they join those already watching over America's ports and shores. Still to come, a look at the vast array of missions the Coast Guard is responsible for, also a glimpse at what's in store for the future. Stay with us. The Coast Guard is the United States' oldest maritime agency. Its beginnings date back more than 2 centuries to when the newly formed United States government took steps to fight smuggling by forming the Revenue Cutter Service, a smart move that also helped pull the new government back from the brink of bankruptcy.
The Revenue Cutter Service, when it was first created, was created kind of as a quasi-military organization. At that time, there wasn't a Navy, so for the first 8 years of its existence, it was the only maritime force afloat for the United States.